Welcome to a very, 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 I think three varies does the trick, special edition of the People's Sports Podcast. Why is it a special edition, Charlotte? Tell the people why.
No one can see me right now, but I am just grinning ear to ear. This, Mark, I don't know. This might be our most highly anticipated episode yet. Yeah. Should we see how long we can talk before we tell people what it actually is?
Yeah, that's a good point. The other question is, are we, it is very anticipated. Are we doing this too soon? Are we, should we have kicked this can down the road? Should we have kept promising this show and never delivering and get the people just waiting with bated breath for when we finally drop it?
Well, now that you say that, no. You know why? Because I'm so excited about the things that I learned over the past few days. And we got some, can we just tell them? Can we tell them what we're doing?
I think, Charlotte, the way podcasts work is most people, when they click play on this thing, they saw the title and they already know what it is.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, I think we can tell them that we are talking about hockey today. And this is...
I legit thought that we were going to surprise
me. Surprise.
No.
I mean, man. I guess we could title the show something else.
No. The title of the show is going to be Hockey versus the Sun, right?
Hockey versus the Sun, yeah. So this was the impetus behind it. I mean, we've been wanting to do a hockey podcast for a while. We needed this lull that we're in, that we've talked about for the last couple of weeks of the Super Bowl ending. We're waiting for March Madness to start. It makes a lot of sense that, especially at a time, is the rest of the country still freezing, or is that stopped?
Oh my God, Marina Del Mar strikes again. Yeah, it's pretty cold. I mean, it's getting a little better. It's getting slightly better.
All right,
Coast,
but anyway,
yeah.
As of last week, everyone is under ice except for basically California and Florida. And I don't know, you add it all together, and then you turn on the TV and you see there's a game taking place in Lake Tahoe that gets postponed because the sun is too bright.
Yes.
And I texted you and I said, Charlotte, it's time. It's time to do hockey. We have to talk about hockey. So
you're the one who said we have to talk about hockey because it's hockey versus the sun. And I was like,
hockey versus the sun.
We sure do, Mark. Also, anyone listening to this, not watching, actually, you know what? We've got two announcements. First of all, we're doing a hockey podcast. Second of all, we are going to have our very own social handles. So it's at People's Sports on Twitter. Don't let those back-to-back S's throw you off. It's two S's in there. And on Instagram and Facebook, it's People's Sports Podcast. And we'll share this, so if you follow us, you'll see it. But the reason I bring this up is because if you're listening, you can't see that Mark legitimately looks like a hockey player. You look like you're a senior at Colby College right now on the hockey team. I'm going to be honest. You're the same age.
I have my authentic sweater. That's what it's called, right? It's not a jersey. It's a sweater.
It's a sweater.
My Columbus Blue Jackets, they sent this to me once upon a time because I don't know. When I lived in Columbus, I was a small fish in a small pond, but I had a blue check mark and I had Columbus, Ohio as my location. So all the sports teams in Ohio get excited about that stuff. So they got me on the bandwagon back in 2017. The Blue Jackets went on a really long winning streak that year. Hockey fans might remember. I think they won like 16 in a row. It was insane. It was so fun to watch. So I've had this in my closet. I wear it every so often when I get excited about the CBJ, and I figured I got to bust it out for the show.
Did you ever think about getting season tickets to CBJ?
I did. I looked into it many times.
Your whole thing about the Browns was that it gets cold, and hockey rinks are chillier.
Right, but it's inside, and also, I've said this before, this is why I've been so excited to do a hockey show, is that hockey culture speaks to me. It makes everything, I don't know much about hockey, but the little stuff that pops into my purview, it is, it gets my attention. I'm like, that is a sport that I identify with. I love the culture. I love the fans seem to be out of their minds, but like in a fun way, like not like in a, like hockey's known for fights, obviously, with the players, but in my mind, the fans seem like they talk a lot of smack, but at the same time, they got their arms around each other and drinking beers. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Football fans feel like they're fighting in the crowd. Hockey fans, I'm wrong?
I don't think I've ever been to a hockey game and not seen someone throw hands. I'm going to be honest.
All right, listen, that's because you're a Northeaster, in the Northeast, maybe they do things differently.
Don't do that to me. This was in Vegas. This was in Boston. I saw a legitimate fist fight in Vegas where they were throwing popcorn at each other. Well, it was they know how to put on a show there.
Don't ruin my image.
But hockey fans are still great.
Point is, it seems like a lot of fun. It's always spoke to me. So yeah, I did one time. I looked to get Blue Jacket season tickets. One, a little too expensive at the time. I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. It was. I don't know. I just remember.
What were
like,
you? How much were they?
You know, like the tweets where it's like, someone help me with my budget. My family is starving. It's like, it was the rent, the whatever, and then there's the luxury item. That was what the Blue Jackets was like. So it. My mortgage or the CBJ?
I don't know. CBJ is a compelling choice there. I'm going to be honest.
Number two was this has always been the problem with hockey is that it happens during basketball season, and the way I pay my bills is watching basketball and talking about basketball and fighting with high schoolers on the internet who think my basketball opinions are bad, and so it's hard to like lock in on the CBJ and on the Ohio State baskall team and you know what I mean? So I said no, but anyway, enough about that.
So you're fighting with high schoolers about college basketball. This is another reason we need to do this, because we need to break that habit. I need to stop fighting with grown men who are mad at me for tweeting about Aaron Rodgers and Shailene Woodley. Yeah. It's because I got a lot of people angry that I care. So I think we need to pivot hard away from that.
Well, this is a good week to do the hockey podcast, because otherwise, if we don't do it this week, you're going to spend at least 45 minutes on Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, I know.
And Aaron Rodgers.
We can't talk. I can't talk about it because
we're not going to talk about that. We're gonna keep it moving. Let's because
the entire show would literally. I'd be like, let me tell you who he does and doesn't follow on Instagram. I have a sickness, Mark, and the only cure is to talk about
Charlotte,
hockey.
Stop! You're doing it right now. You're saying I'm not gonna. You're about to say I'm not gonna talk about this, because what would happen if I did talk about it is 45 minutes later.
Okay, quickly. Hockey headlines we want to talk about. Hockey headlines.
Okay, so how do we want to dive into this?
You say one and then I'll say one. Because I have three headlines that I'm excited about.
So yeah, we got to set the stage. We got to set the ice. We got to Zamboni the ice. We got to, what's the term?
This is going to be a disaster.
This is so bad. This is going to be simultaneously the worst and best show we've ever done.
Yes, which is the goal for every show, but also
apologies.
Blanket statement. We know some stuff. We don't know really what we're talking about.
Apologies out of the gate to any hockey fans, because this is going to be the most frustrating thing you have ever listened to in your entire life. I can promise you that. You are going to be pulling your hair. Maybe just skip this one.
No. Ride with us, baby. We need you.
All right. So here's what I do whenever I need to know what's going on in the world. I trust the algorithms. I trust the aggregators. I go to google.com. I type in keywords. I hit enter. I go to the news page and I read the top headlines.
Same.
And I trust that the algorithm is going to tell me what I need to know.
Yep.
So in preparation for this show, I searched the word hockey. That's it.
Nice. I typed in NHL. So
and I just that's too much. I just want hockey. Here were the top three stories that literally the top three stories today.
Okay.
Number one, it says Blues hockey in 2021, tight as can be. That was the headline, and apparently I know.
Wait. Your name?
No, tight as.
Oh, I was like, are they inviting
tight
you to
as can
tight
be.
As can be?
Yeah.
That's also bad. Okay.
And apparently the St. Louis Blues have had 9 consecutive games, not counting the empty net goals where they pull the goalie and they're trying to get tie the game at the end.
Yeah.
They've had 9 consecutive games that have been decided by 1 goal. So that's something that's going on in hockey right now.
Wow. I hate the Blues because they beat the Bruins in 2019, and they took the song Gloria, which is one of my favorite songs, and I was like, you can't just claim an 80s banger as yours, because now I can't listen to it, but I do anyway, and then I feel bad.
There was that. Number 2 was West Fargo upsets Bismarck Century in boys state hockey quarterfinals.
I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
The East number 4 seed West Fargo stunned. They used the word stunned. This is stunning.
That's
this
a hockey word.
Shockwaves.
That's a hockey word.
Shockwaves across the state of North Dakota as West number 1 Bismarck Century fell 6-4 in the quarterfinals on Tuesday at VFW Sports Arena. So those of you who are locked in on the North Dakota State.
I
hockey
really
tournament.
hope someone
Big
listening
upset.
is locked in on that and knows something about it. And I want a what is it, West Bismarck or Bismarck?
West Fargo beat Bismarck Century.
I want a Bismarck Century sweatshirt real bad. A crew neck. Someone get me that.
Everyone that goes to Bismarck Century, send Charlotte.
Yeah.
Everyone listening. Said that was literally number 2, by the way. I'm not like it wasn't like I went to like the 12th page to find these stories. Like this is on these are these
I
stories.
believe it. I believe
And then
it.
finally, you'll love this. The third story is the headline says "Play chess like hockey players," and then
Stop
you click
it.
on it. The article is on chess.com explaining how chess and hockey are similar. And I couldn't really figure out how they were similar. I don't know. So there you go. That's what's going on.
They're
in the world
both
of hockey
very
right now.
white, is what I'll say. You know, maybe that. Wow, that is
Russian.
okay.
They're very
They're
Russian
very
as well.
Russian.
Yeah, Russian-oriented sports. Yeah. So there you have it. What about
The
you?
Queen's
what
Gambit
else?
includes both, so yeah, you don't see that coming at the end, the finale. There's a lot of hockey talk. All right, the things that I want to talk about are the things that I found most interesting in my Google search rather than the top 3. So I'm glad we got yours out of the way so that people know what the landscape looks like, and now we can really dive in. So the first one is NHL Lake Tahoe game attracts hockey fans in boats, parentheses, and more to catch a free glimpse. So the whole thing, the reason we're talking about this is because they played 2 games at Lake Tahoe with no fans, and the sun melted the ice, and they postponed it forever. We'll get to that. But there was a golf course is where it was constructed, and so there were about a dozen boats. They flew flags for the Flyers and the Bruins. There were 22 kayaks and 2 paddle boats, apparently, that were sort of lingering around. This is according to my pal Greg Wyshynski at ESPN. And so I thought that was kind of innovative. 2 things I love, sports and boats. There you have it.
Sports and boats. Just the idea. Well, because Lake Tahoe, they do the golf thing in the summer. What is it, like a pro-am? It's like a fun deal
it's
that
like,
they do, and then it's more fun. And then because that's where Steph Curry and his dad have played.
When you say Lake Tahoe golf, all I think of is Steph Curry.
Yeah, and he jumps in the water, right? Like him or his dad jump in the water at the end, and there's like a bunch of boats, and it's a fun time. Yeah,
And they're
anytime
honking their little boat horns.
There is something about that of like fans watching sports from a boat or like somehow incorporating boats. I think it's it's the Giants. That's what I'm thinking of. I had the image of the kayaks. Barry Bonds, when Barry Bonds would smash.
McCovey, is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
McCovey Cove.
McCovey
Cove. Yeah, and he would smash home runs, and then people are like kayaking over trying to pick up the ball. It's fun because it's not something you see every day.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Although I did once do a story on lobster boat races up in Maine, and there are a lot of people on boats for that one. So anyway,
our producer Kat went to Tennessee. I seem to remember like Tennessee. Football has like a thing where I know Washington does.
Producer
I think
Kat,
Washington,
pop that into the chat.
Pop
Let us
that
know.
into the chat. Do they not like tailgate on the river there in Knoxville? It's like they're on the boats tailgate. I have this image of Tennessee and Washington.
She says Vol Navy.
Vol Navy?
Yeah.
That's right. That's what it is. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. I have
She
the
says,
image
yes, it's
of like,
insane. It's on the river. Okay.
Right. Tennessee, I know, big boat situation. I think Baylor might have that too. I don't know. Anyway, who cares? Enough of that. Yeah, so they play the game at Lake Tahoe. This is, I couldn't believe that this is not the Winter Classic, right? This was just like an outdoor one-off.
So this is a new thing they're trying, and much like the Winter Classic, which only started in like '08, they're gonna see if it's something that they'll keep doing, which would be very cool if they just put rinks other places, although you gotta watch out for that sun.
Yeah, so what, I guess, does that devalue the Winter Classic? Because I thought that was the whole appeal of the Winter Classic, is like, we're not playing in an arena. It's outside. How crazy is this?
Check this out. It's hockey without a roof. You ever seen this before?
I mean, they're gonna keep doing this. They're just gonna start sprinkling these in throughout the season. You're gonna look up one day and there's like no arenas anymore. Like, every hockey game is taking place on a backyard
It's
pond.
in my parents' backyard, in their pond in Massachusetts. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe it does, but right now, I don't know if they'll keep doing this. Like, because don't you think fans would want to go so badly that they'd be like, we're not going to exclude fans on purpose? This feels like very,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, why
and be
would
like,
you
you
do
can't come watch our sports game.
So The big thing coming out of this game was obviously that they honored a guy named Dusty Gooch, who was a
salute,
a local firefighter. That was the story that came out of this experience at Lake Tahoe. The second big story was that the sun interrupted the game.
Wait. No. You missed
What?
one. You missed one.
What?
The Bruins all dressed up in unbelievable 90s gear.
Wait, what? Did I really miss this?
Did you not? Have you not seen that?
No.
I think we have that picture. The Bruins dressed up. There it is. The Bruins dressed up wearing all 90s throwback outfits. And, they got the Walkman, they got the fanny pack, they got the swishy pants, they got the Mighty Ducks jerseys. I've never been prouder to be a fan of a team than I was when the Boston Bruins showed up in my ideal aesthetic. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
You see that?
I didn't know this. What was there a reason, or was it just like whatever? We're playing in Tahoe, so it's fun, and let's just have fun. And
that's something that you'd think I might have looked up, but
I was too busy. The reason I didn't look this stuff up, I was too busy just literally Googling the rules of hockey. Trying to refresh my mind.
I did have to Google penalty kill, I'm not gonna lie. I also did message, it turns out that the Bruins PR guy follows me on Twitter, which I was very humbled by. So I messaged him and I was like, hey Matt, can you tell me more about these outfits? And it said seen, but he never wrote back. So I don't know why. I want everyone to know I tried to be a journalist about it, but it didn't work.
All right. Well, nice outfits for the Bruins. Anyway, the game was delayed by the sun, Charlotte.
Yes.
Let's get to because this
cut
really
to the
was.
chase, Mark.
Let's cut to the chase. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is why we're talking about hockey this week. Is that they went to the trouble of having this game of setting this game. You said there were 2 games. Again, I barely paid attention. I didn't watch any of it. I just saw the headline the game was delayed because of the sun. And that was all I needed.
Okay, it was oh my god, this is literally the one thing. I know that the Golden Knights
This is supposed to be the part that we don't know. Like, this is supposed to be the part that we have.
We literally, all we have to know is who
is...
played the games. Yeah. Okay, wait. I know it was the Golden Knights versus somebody, and then it was Bruins versus the Flyers. I don't remember.
The Golden Knights played the Bruins played the Flyers. The Golden Knights played somebody. That's close enough.
I'm googling Golden Knights Tahoe.
The Bruins played the Flyers, and the Flyer. Were they play the Flyers? They played.
They played Philly. Yeah.
They played Philly.
Who?
Yeah, okay.
Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche.
The Avalanche.
There you go.
That's
who the Golden. Yes, the Golden Knights played the Avalanche.
Was that the game that got delayed?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought the Avalanche got delayed.
They played at midnight on the East Coast because the sun wouldn't go down. And then they played the next day. They delayed the game, the Bruins Flyers game. And that's why Gritty, the mascot, and Blades, the Boston Bruins mascot, were skiing together in Lake Tahoe. If you saw that, I don't know.
Hockey really does exist just in its own little world. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Like, I get, like, if I was a hockey fan and this is all I consumed was hockey, I would be pulling my hair out too, like, at the rest of the country. Like, how is this not, like, how are you guys not following sport? This? I don't understand. Yeah, this is the greatest thing ever, and no one else. So I understand where hockey fans are coming. It really does like just exist in its own world, and man, that's crazy. God
also,
bless it.
To me, hockey is the most soothing sport. Like, when I was like sad in 2018 and I watched so much hockey because they just like, I was sad in 2018, Jesus Christ. But it's a thing, it's so
chapter
graceful.
Of my autobiography.
2018, I was sad. Moving on. But it's so graceful. It's such a beautiful sport. Like, it really, and that's something that sounds sort of silly to say, but you watch football and you're sort of cringing. They're like, oh God, that looked like it hurt. You watch hockey and you're like, in between the oh God, that looked like it hurt, you're like, wow, that's pretty graceful.
That looked like it hurt, but it was so beautiful how it was a beautiful pain. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, the game is delayed because of the sun. What game it was, who cares? Doesn't matter. Point is, I saw a headline that said hockey game delayed because of the sun, and I was laughing my ass off. It reminded me of I don't know if you remember this. But my mind immediately went to the college basketball games, obviously, that were played on aircraft carriers in like 2011 and 2012.
vaguely, you say that and like something in my brain goes kind of, but like no. Yeah. I don't really remember that.
Veterans Day 2011, North Carolina and Michigan State played on an aircraft carrier. They put the court on a big aircraft carrier. They put up a little bit, some bleachers. I think Obama was there.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, he was like the president of the United States was at the game. It was a big deal because it was Veterans Day as well, and I was off the coast of San Diego or on. I mean, it was on the coast.
What teams were it again? You just said this. I can't
North Carolina, and Michigan State. North Carolina beat Michigan State. It was in San Diego. It wasn't off the coast. I didn't mean to insinuate that they like took the boat. like
it was offshore. It was like in the Bermuda Triangle.
That the boat was moving while they're playing.
What you mean is that the boat wasn't on dry land is literally all you're saying.
Which would actually be hilarious if they played it on.
So what you're saying, Mark, is that the boat was in the water.
It was in water. It was in a body of water, technically. So that game was like, it made for a fun visual, obviously. It was weird. We've never seen that before. Mm-hmm. I don't think, if I remember right, and this might just be revisionist, but I think the shooting wasn't great, and it makes a lot of sense because like you're outside and the sun's shining, and
also like was the boat moving at all?
Yeah, it's probably wobbling.
Were they sturdy enough that they don't wobble?
And there's an ocean breeze that's like blowing the whatever. Point is, the following year they decided to run it back, and they were going to have a game in San Diego again, which ended up happening. It was Syracuse, San Diego State. They actually played that one, but then they were going to have a couple games. I think one was in Jacksonville and one was in the Ohio State one was in Charleston. Ohio State was supposed to play Marquette, and basically the game in Jacksonville was canceled too. It was Syracuse. No, it was Georgetown. Who cares?
Point is, college basketball program.
The point is, both of those games, Charlotte, got canceled because they had seen what worked in San Diego, and they were like, we could do that in South Carolina and Florida. What they forgot to factor in was that the humidity situation in South Carolina, Florida, different than the humidity situation in Southern California.
Very.
And the court just started sweating, for lack of a better term. The court was just like, it was just wet at all times, and they were just so I vividly remember seeing like Ohio State players wiping up the Marquette players right before the game's about to start. They were just trying to wipe up the court. They couldn't get it dry. They had to cancel the game. That's where my mind went when I saw this headline that that hockey had to cancel.
I thought you were going to say that the boats got called away to war.
Yeah.
So they couldn't play them. They had to use the aircraft carriers for aircraft.
They booked the wrong boat, and like
and the captain gets calls, and they're like, "Sorry, we need this to fight people." Well, that is a good way for me to tell you about two things that I discovered on the internet, because I also started thinking about where they played weird games. And one, I'm not kidding. This is when I texted you, because I was just like, I'm sorry, but I have the coolest thing in the world. Or like, I forget what I said, but I was too excited about it. I didn't tell you what it was. I found, did you know, I'm curious if you found this too. In 2005, Roger Federer and Andre Agassi played a tennis match on a helipad 700 feet above the ocean in Dubai to promote a Dubai. I did not, Mark. This. I didn't remember it. Look at that. Oh God, I feel sick to my stomach looking at these pictures. Like I stared at this for an hour yesterday, and I had a fear of height. And I'm not even scared of heights. I like height. And this just, oh my God, you run a little bit the wrong way and you fall at, two of the greatest tennis players were risking that.
Absolutely terrifying. Yeah. I'm with you. I am scared of heights, so this makes me it's
queasy, right?
It's unbelievable. I remember when that happened though. Did they actually like play a game, or is it just like a photo op? I forget that part. They played a game
because I did look up this game. Federer beat Agassi 6-3, 6-1. I also found an unbelievable YouTube video. No, it was. What else do they have on YouTube? It was a YouTube.
How old are you? A YouTube video.
I kind of want to play this for you. If it doesn't, just listen to this for a second. Can you hear this? Right. Oh no, it's coming through my headphones. Anyway.
Oh my God. You're older than we even thought. Oh my God. The whole sequence. Let me play this YouTube video for you. Can you?
I'm crying. I'm legitimately crying. Oh my God. That was awful. together. Anyway,
Oh,
I'll tweet it
Jesus.
out, but it's a great video because it's supposed to be, cinema verite where you just follow them around, but it was clearly staged, and they clearly said to these guys, hey, when you get out of the elevator, talk to each other about how you're feeling. And they're just like, how are you feeling? And Federer's like, I am great. How are you? In his little Swiss accent. So, oh my God, Mark. Save me from myself.
Oh my! All right, I'll save you with this. The other thing that came to mind when I was thinking of weird sporting event or sporting events that happen in weird places that are hosted in weird places is I don't know if you saw the MMA fight that happened at an Oklahoma bar bathroom between an Oklahoma football player and did you see that video?
No.
Is that real? It was just a video going around this week of like some Oklahoma football player started a fight with a guy smaller than him, and the guy smaller than him has been training MMA for like 10 years.
Stop it!
And he just went into full MMA mode and was throwing but it was all happening on the bathroom floor of a bar. And they're just rolling around in piss, and the whole thing was just
we're still in a pandemic. What is going? You couldn't pay me to go into a bar right now. Oh my God. Well,
it reminded me, as an aside, it reminded me of. Have you seen the video? This might be the funniest, as you say, a YouTube video. I don't think this one's on YouTube. Of the guys, it looked like they were in high school. They were fighting in a bathroom. And the fight spills into the handicap stall where there's a kid taking a dump. And they're just wailing on each other right as this kid is just sitting there just
No.
I'll send
When
it
is
to you.
that from? Yeah, great.
I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. One of the funniest things ever. The kid just has a look on his face I mean, what?
What do you do? You can't just get up. He's in the middle of something.
Back to hockey.
You know what my family will sometimes say if someone's heading to the bathroom. So this is just bear with me for a second. You say, "Hope everything comes out okay in the end."
Yikes.
Am I okay? I don't know. I don't know if I'm okay. I have another weird sports game for you.
Okay, what?
Do you have any?
Well, like a celebritynetworth.com game type? Is that what you mean?
It's not a game. I have a different game for you that I'm going to surprise you with. But first, they played in 2013. They played a cricket match in a slate mine.
What?
They legitimately played a cricket match. Look, in a mine. It was Caldbeck cricket team and Honister. They played in the Honister slate mine. They won the world's first underground cricket match on December 5th, 2013 in Keswick, England. It's between Caldbeck and a team called Threlkeld. Oh, dude. Yeah.
What?
It's 2,000 feet inside a mine.
My mind goes to, is this from Jurassic Park, or just because you can doesn't mean you should?
Yes.
I think that's a Jurassic Park line. That's where my mind goes.
That's how I live my life. That's why I say
You're
that to
so
myself every day.
preoccupied. That's what it was. It's Jeff Goldblum. He says it, right? You were so preoccupied with whether you could, you didn't stop to think whether you should, or something like that. I don't know.
Still got to reach out to Laura Dern.
Yeah. We're a Jurassic Park podcast now.
Yeah.
All right, is that it? Can we talk about hockey now? Okay, what else?
Well, I have a game for you about hockey.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
I'm gonna name a team name, and you have to tell me where they're from.
Oh, I could do this. This is easy.
All right, because I tested myself. I got everyone except for I forgot that the Sabres are in Buffalo. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, I knew that one. Done.
Okay, you
Let's
ready?
Go. I'm gonna ace this. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Panthers.
Florida.
I thought that pause there. I was like, if you get this one wrong, Hurricanes.
It's like they played Raleigh, but it's the no, it's Carolina. It's just Carolina. It's just Carolina.
Yep. Blackhawks.
Oh, that's easy. Chicago.
Lightning.
Original six.
The second part of the game is you got to tell me which of the original 6 hockey teams.
Oh, I don't know if I know that, but I know the originals.
All right, well, let's think about it.
Tampa Bay is the Lightning. They just won the cup. Duh.
Yes. Blue Jackets.
Come on.
Yeah.
Columbus.
I'm just going down the list, okay? Stars.
Dallas.
Predators. We're literally naming hockey teams.
Nashville,
yes.
Right? Yep.
Yes. Red Wings.
Oh, Detroit. That's original 6.
Yep.
Boom.
Bruins.
Boston, original 6. That's 3 of the original 6.
Okay, Capitals.
Washington.
Yep. Penguins.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
No, not original. I'm saying not original 6. Okay. No, I'll come back to. I'll revisit it.
Okay. Islanders.
That's they're Long Island, New York.
Yep,
New York Islanders.
Yep. Flyers.
That's Philly.
Yeah. Rangers.
That's real. That's the real New York team. That's the Manhattan.
Yep.
New York team. Yeah.
Devils.
New Jersey, right?
Yeah, Dirty Jers.
They got the good logo. Shout out to Putty from Seinfeld. He liked the New Jersey Devils, right? But they got the cool NJ logo with the devil horns and all that.
Oh, it's a really good logo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, New Jersey needs. Why don't they have more sports teams? We took the Nets away. We got anyway. Sabres. Okay, already did that one. Golden Knights.
Vegas. They need to get rid of the Golden. That's my take on
agree.
Vegas. Vegas Knights is a better name than Vegas
I
Golden
agree.
Knights.
Blues.
St. Louis.
Yeah. Avalanche.
That's Colorado.
Kings.
L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Marina
this
del
is easy. I
Kings.
told you I would kill this.
I know, you're crushing it. Do you feel good?
Do you feel like there's anyone I don't know?
Coyotes.
Are they Arizona or Phoenix?
Yeah.
But one
Arizona.
of the two. Arizona.
Okay, Wild.
Minnesota.
Yep. Sharks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
that
in
one.
California. That's San Jose.
Yep. Wow,
Let's go.
you're crushing it.
Let's
Ducks.
go.
Ducks.
Anaheim.
Yeah.
Are they no longer the Mighty Ducks? They're just the Ducks.
Just the Ducks.
right.
Maple Leafs.
Toronto. Original 6. Boom.
Yep. Oilers.
Edmonton. I know this because I remember going to Edmonton one time. I've been to Edmonton one time in my life, and I love the city. And I was like, I want to cheer for their hockey team. And then I asked what the hockey team was, and they said Edmonton Oilers. And then they told me about Wayne Gretzky, and then I don't know. Anyway, that was my that was a Slumdog Millionaire moment where I was just like running through my head like how I know this. Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton Oilers. Okay, Jets.
Is that Winnipeg?
Yes.
Is that the Winnipeg team?
Yes. This is giving me great joy. I love seeing you succeed. Canadiens.
I have a list pulled up, by the way. I'm just
You could. You little sneak.
Canadians is Montreal. That's original 6 too.
Yep. Wow, you're doing great.
How many
Flames.
do I have in the original 6? Calgary. I want to play for them. That was on my franchise. I want to play.
Oh, that's
for.
right. That's right.
They have the Saddle Dome. Their arena looks like a Calgary. Fun fact: they do the Calgary Stampede in Calgary every year in the summer, and that's why their football team's called the Stampeders. And they made their hockey arena look like a saddle, so as a nod to all the Cowboys that live up there. So there you
Wow,
go.
what do you know? I didn't know that. Well, apparently we've gotten emails from people who are Calgary Flames fans who say they suck. So people were like, when you talked about them, we got emails. This was before we were doing the mailbag episodes, and they were like, don't do this.
I feel like hockey strikes me as a sport too, where like all the fans think their team sucks except for like 3 at any given time.
Even then, they hate the goalie. As a Bruins fan, just all right, 2 more. Canucks.
Vancouver.
Yep, Senators. You know this one.
Ottawa Senators. Did I just ace your test,
You
Charlotte?
did.
I mean,
you did.
You thought I was going to get these
so
wrong.
proud of. No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I thought you were going to get them right.
Original 6. Chicago Blackhawks, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, and the 6th one. Ooh, that's tough because I feel like it should be Penguins. I feel like it should. No, it's going to be Rangers. It's got to be Rangers. There's got to be a team in New York that's the.
I'm
but
Googling
the Penguins,
it. Yep.
It feels
Rangers.
like it's Rangers.
Yep. Wow.
Am I a hockey guy? Am I
Are
a
you
hockey guy? I might be.
He says with lettuce and a hockey sweater. I'm proud of you. I knew you'd get it, but
thank you.
I think that that the hocky fans out there must have really enjoyed that.
What?
Should we do NFL teams next?
Hockey fans are like, are you?
Right, the hockey
you
fans are
kidding
like, did you graduate from high school or?
What else? I thought. Well, this is a good way to start too. Or I mean, I guess what are we like 30 minutes into the podcast to start?
Yeah.
I think it's worth kind of fleshing out what we know about hockey in general. So I just proved that I know a lot about the teams. What do you know? Because you're from New England. You are from Maine, which is apparently hockey. Like people that are writing in are saying like, Charlotte, what the hell? You're supposed to be the hockey expert.
Yeah, someone actually tweeted at me today and said it's too bad at the Wilder things has to give up her New England heritage because she didn't actually know correctly who Patrice Bergeron was. And I just liked the tweet. I had to be like, you're right. I'm going to take that L, man. So I actually, but weirdly enough, So I grew up in, hockey culture. I actually once slapped someone across the face at a high school hockey game because he said something rude to me in front of the entire school. Probably the coolest moment of my entire life. I mean, I've never felt more. I walked in, he said something very rude, and I just slapped him across the face.
You were at a high school hockey game, and was it a player?
No, it was in the stands. I had like made out with his friend, and I walk in, and this guy starts chanting this other guy's name.
This has nothing to do with hockey. This could have happened anywhere. This could have happened at the mall.
So this guy who ended up later becoming one of my good friends, I don't know what that says about any of this. He starts chanting this other guy's name, and got a few other people around him, and I was with a few friends, and I just walked right up to him and just slapped him across the face, and everyone started cheering, and I was like, try it again. Try it one more time. So that's a fun hockey story. Anyway, so I did grow up going to a lot of hockey games, and then I covered the Stanley Cup when the Knights and the Caps were in it, and then when it was the Bruins and the Blues. So, I've been in hockey locker rooms. I've gotten yelled at for standing on the Bruins logo in one of their locker rooms. So I feel like I kind of know what I'm talking about, but it's hard to keep up because there are all these teams and things are constantly changing. And if you try to hop in the middle of the season. So I was just sort of looking at a bunch of standings last night and trying to figure out what the lay of the land is.
What the hell's going on? Yeah. So I know every hockey team, obviously. I just proved that. So
Mark knows every hockey team.
I think I pretty much proved that I'm a hockey expert. Here's what I made a list of things I know about hockey. Like I just started writing down from memory. Like when I think hockey, these are things I know. And
do you want to quiz me? Do you want to turn it into a quiz? See if I know the things you know?
I don't think it's really like a trivia situation. I think it's just like it was just a brain dump of like hockey. Here's all I know about hockey. Let's hear it. So first of all, ice hockey is a contact team sport played on ice, usually in an indoor or outdoor rink in which two teams of skaters use their sticks to...
Wikipedia Mark strikes again.
I know that the Stanley Cup, there's only one of them. There's one of it. It is not like it's a traveling trophy. You win it, you get it. You it's time for someone else to win it. You have to give it to them. Yep. The players get it for they get it for one day if you win it. Is that the thing? Or that's the idea is you get your one day with the cup, and then they just do foul things to the cup, right? That's the idea is just like the most debaucherous thing you can think of.
Yes.
Did you see the lady who was upset, whose father designed the Lombardi Trophy and was upset at Tom Brady throwing it?
No, you're kidding me.
I swear to God, look, this was like a thing for a day or two, and people were just mocking her because she said that it was like disgraceful to her father that Tom Brady cared so little about the trophy that her father designed.
You're like, lady, he has 7 of them. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Down. So thankfully, this lady's father didn't create the Stanley Cup, or she would
to the Stanley Cup, right?
If her dad created the Stanley Cup, she'd be just having an aneurysm every time they wore the thing. She'd just be like...
Yes. Oh my God. She would have seen Ovechkin in the fountain with the Stanley Cup and just like passed out.
I know that. So you get your name on it too, right? You get your name etched on the Stanley Cup. That's why. Yeah. That's why it's so big, because the originally Stanley Cup was just like that bowl on the top, and then they've kind of like added the names to it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Charlotte, do I know more about hockey than you? Is that what we're learning?
No, you don't.
I know that injury reports just say the top or bottom half of your body, and they leave it at that. Yeah. It's just like, we got an upper half injury.
So good. I love it so much, because it could be a toe or it could be your entire leg. There's
you could stub your toe and it's lower body injury. You could have your leg broken in half and it's lower body injury.
Yeah.
I love that. I know that Doc Emmerich's a guy who's awesome, and he calls games and people love him, and he's got like 100% approval rating.
You know what I also know, speaking of announcers?
What's that?
I know that Patrick Sharp is very handsome. You can't talk to a hockey fan
I don't
without.
know who that is.
So he's an announcer for NBC. He was on the Blackhawks. I think it was the Blackhawks forever.
I'll be the judge.
You can't like.
I mean, he's definitely handsome, but like, come on.
I mean, people bring when I was covering the Stanley Cup in Boston, they had NBC had set up the commentators outside the arena, and people had signs behind Patrick, where people come with signs and stuff. They had signs that just said Patrick Sharp is handsome, holding them up.
He's definitely a handsome man, but I mean, he's not like,
to hockey fans, he is the most beautiful man in the entire world.
There are more beautiful hockey men than Patrick Sharp. Sorry, Patrick, but
Lundqvist is also pretty. Should we just rank how hot hockey players are?
Yeah,
is that what we should do?
This is going very well. I know that Gary Bettman. You're supposed to boo him if he ever shows up anywhere.
Gary Bettman.
Nobody likes that guy. I don't really know why, but I don't ask questions. I just boo him. If Gary Bettman walks in my living room, guess what? You're getting booed, Gary. You're getting booed.
But I mean, is there any commissioner who people like?
Adam Silver people loved until this year, where that's one of the great, like if takes were stocks, this would be my GameStop situation where
you would have shorted that.
I've been shorting Adam Silver stock for years, and finally, like I'm raking in my gains. It's so nice. I'm taking it all.
I'm so happy for you. I wish there were real money in it.
I know that Sidney Crosby is a hoser. I don't really know exactly what that means, but
neither do I.
Every Blue Jackets game I went to, whether they were playing the Penguins or not, like I'd hear somebody talk about how big of a hoser Crosby is, and I was like,
I'm afraid it's something very offensive.
Yeah,
now that you've said it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like,
I'm excited for the email where I'm canceled now.
Yeah, someone's going to cancel Mark for he didn't know. He didn't Google it, okay?
I know that ducks fly together. Gordon Bombay taught me that. What else do I have? I know about the another thing that I wrote down was, do you remember the Todd Bertuzzi Steve Moore incident when Todd Bertuzzi hit him from behind and he almost paralyzed that guy in like 2004, I want to say it was?
No, I don't remember this.
I just wrote it down because I was just trying to think of things I remember. Yeah, Todd Bertuzzi, like Steve Moore is this guy who, apologies again to all the we've already done the apology.
Yeah,
my memory is that Steve Moore, like in a game before, had done the enforcer thing or checked somebody and hurt one of the teammates. So when the next game came around, when these two teams were playing, Todd Bertuzzi, who was the enforcer on his team, like as soon as the puck dropped, he's like, I'm gonna kill Steve Moore. And he took it too far and hit him from behind and like drove his forehead into the ice.
Oh God!
And like kind of paralyzed him for a half second. But then I think he's fine. I think like Steve Moore is fine insofar as like he can walk and everything, but he's also like not fine because he's probably got like brain damage. I don't know. I never really did the fall. But I remember that happening when I was in high school, and it was pretty wild.
Is really remarkable is that you can fight each other. You like that's a part of the game, like NFL games. Anytime anyone gets close to fighting, but in hockey, it's just like going this little box.
Can you fight each other? Because don't you get like penalized for it too? But also, that's always been very confusing to me. Is like the fights break out, the refs do nothing to stop it, and then after it happens, it's like shame on both of you. And it's like, well, why? If it's bad, then stop it, ref. And if it's not bad, why are they going to the penalty box? Make up your mind. You're giving mixed signals here.
Yes, I don't know the answers to that. Someone could write in and tell us. I also know that women's hockey, that USA women's hockey is great. And I've interviewed a few of them before. Hillary Knight is, they are all just like much cooler than I am. I find women's hockey players very intimidating because they're just like, I'm really cool and I can skate, and I'm like, do they have
a stereotype? Do women hockey, like men hockey players, obviously they have like I don't need to spell it out, but there's a stereotype that comes to mind when you picture like a guy who plays hockey. Like you could spot a guy, you said this to me, that if in college you could tell like who's on the hockey team and who's not just by the way they dress, the walk, they talk, the way they look, like everything about it. Do women have a stereotype, would you say? I
don't think so. I don't think so? In the same way. No. I think hockey men feel the need to really look like you right now. No, I'm kidding. What else do we know about hockey? I know that the enforcer is a thing. You know, that they have a designated guy who's like the bodyguard. The hockey's kind of like the mob. You know, there's one guy who's like, you mess with me, I'll kill your family. And that's the enforcer.
Sean William Scott taught me that. I watched that movie, Goon, right? That's what it's called, Goon? Yeah,
yes,
it's Goon.
I haven't seen it, but I know that that's a movie.
What else did I write down here? There's the swinger scene where they play NHL 93. I wrote that down. One of my favorite scenes. Swingers is my favorite movie ever. So, shout out to them. Oh, I forgot about this. Jacques Demers, who was the coach of the Canadiens in 93, the last time Canada won a Stanley Cup. I remember this vividly because it like blew my mind, and it's just one of those things that like will stick with me forever. He revealed to the world that he is illiterate, and like he's coached in the NHL forever, and he won a Stanley Cup, and he was apparently illiterate the whole time.
Oh my God.
Does not know how to read, does not know how to write. And the reason beyond like that part, which is like shocking, you're like, how does this guy ascend to the height?
Yeah.
How do you write scouting reports? Like, how do you coach and not know how to read or write? It's insane. And he won a Stanley Cup. But what made it especially crazy, and I think this is why it sticks with me, is that he revealed this information through a book.
Wait,
through his biography. A guy wrote a book about him, about his life, and he wrote in the book that he was illiterate. And I remember hearing about that, just thinking like,
did he ever
I'm gonna
learn?
need some time to process what I just learned here.
Did he ever learn? Like, how do you even? Well, what? It was 93, you said?
No, this was. I mean, he won it in '93, but
so you're not getting like all these emails on
your.
your phone constantly. You know, I feel like it's hard to.
Yeah. Let me see. Jacques Demers. I remember his name from memory. He's 76 years old right now. He won in '93. He was out of coaching. It looks like by '99, and I think he announced in. When did he say that he was? When did that book come out? Literacy Struggles. On November 2nd, 25, Demers released a biography written by Mario Leclerc,
which is also a real hockey name.
And which he revealed that he's functionally illiterate. So there's that too. That was one thing I remember.
Another thing about hockey coaches is that in 2016, the Panthers fired Gerard Gallant on the tarmac. It was like a Lane Kiffin situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they fired him, and he had to take a cab away from, like, they just left without him. They left him there. They were like, you're not our coach anymore, and you're going to have to find your own ride home. And then the Golden Knights...
Don't try to expense the receipt for your ride home.
And then the Knights hired this guy to be the coach in their first year after they expanded, and he takes him to a Stanley Cup.
Wow. So
he never won one with them because they fired him too, but, you know.
How about that? What else did I write down? Shout out to the show Letterkenny, love that. The Minnesota high school. Speaking of hockey hair, you see these videos that come out every year of the Minnesota high school all hockey hair team.
Yes.
Love those. I wrote down that in high school, my buddies and I would check each other into lockers during passing period and say Gretzky. I mean, they would just say Gretzky, and then you'd check a guy into the locker.
I actually, funny. I used to do that too, but I would do it, and then I'd say hip check. So
it's great.
But
and then
checking someone into a locker, it feels great.
The game, we stopped doing it when eventually one of our buddies paid attention to hockey and was like, yeah, Gretzky scored all the goals. He didn't really check anybody. He was like the goal scorer. People tried to check him. So it doesn't make sense. So that buddy started saying Bertuzzi because of the Todd Bertuzzi incident.
Oh my God.
And then we were all like, I don't know, man, this feels a little.
You're like, maybe we should stop. And meanwhile your basketball coach is like, if one of you gets injured because you were checking each other into lockers, we're gonna have a problem.
Well, that's about. I had this written down too. Derek Dorsett. Shout out to Derek Dorsett, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Used to play for the Blue Jackets. I don't know what he's up to now. I met him one time, and he told me the story about how he led the NHL in penalty minutes in 2012 because he was in the lead, and then the guy who was in second, it was the last game of the year, the guy who was in second apparently got into a huge fight and got something happened in the game where that guy got 10 penalty minutes. That seems like a lot. I don't know. Pick a number that's a lot, Charlotte. A lot of penalty minutes
15.
In this game. 15 penalty minutes. Maybe even 17. Derek Dorsett told me that game was in the afternoon. He played later that night. It was the last game of the season. He watched this happen. He watched his penalty minutes lead slip away, and so he knew going into the game that night how many penalty minutes he needed. And as soon as the puck dropped, he started throwing punches, and he got the win. And he's like, I went into the game. We had nothing to play for. I was like, screw it. I'm going to lead the league in penalty minutes. So he got into a fight and purposely. And I was sitting there just like nodding along, like, this is the funniest thing I think I've ever heard in my life. And
that's, you got to go for the records that you can break, is what I always say.
Oh, shit. One more. We're Fox people. Yeah, I'm getting excited about this. We're Fox people. Remember the Fox puck tracker in the 90s? Do you remember this? When they used to have the laser?
The circle.
Yeah.
Was it a circle around the puck? Wasn't it?
It was like if you like a slap shot, and then there's looks like a fireball coming out of the puck, and it was like a live thing. It was like a technology way before its time. Yeah, it was in the 90s that the light would, I don't know how else to describe it. Like you'd hit the puck and they'd have like a tail. A laser tail, so you could see where the puck was.
Like a shooting star?
The idea was that when you watch hockey on TV, you can't follow the puck as easily. So if we dumb it down for the viewers, and hockey fans were pissed. We
should bring that back.
Absolutely pissed.
We should bring it back. I
love
it. I love it. Give me all the graphics in the world. That is, you know a lot about hockey, Mark.
I did. I wrote that down. I'm trying to think of anything else that comes to mind. That's just about it. I don't know.
Well, we're going to get into more stuff we know, because our list for today is something that I am really thrilled to tell you about, because what is it? The top 5 things we're excited for about hockey?
The top 5 things we're looking forward to the rest of this NHL season. Yeah. The top. Do you want to get into it now? Do we have anything else? Do we have any other hockey discussions that need to be had? Do you know what icing is, at least, Charlotte?
Yes, icing is when the puck goes behind the blue line, and everybody has to go back. Everybody has to go back behind the blue line until you can go back and try to score again.
What?
That's what icing is.
Oh my! Say that again.
Okay, so you have a blue line on the rink, right? Okay, and wait, hold on. No. This is unfair. I'm nervous, so I know it when I see it. Okay.
It's pornography. You know when you see it. It's hard to define.
Exactly. Right. You can't define it, but I know when it crosses the line because it's a blue line on the rink. And then hold on. Give me a second. Let me visualize this. Okay, so if they're playing hockey and someone, okay, so say the goalie hits.
This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the podcast.
I hate it.
In a podcast where you said you used the phrase YouTube video and then tried to play a video for me through your headphones. I still think this is my favorite part. Is you trying to explain what icing is.
It's like offsides for hockey.
But there's literally offsides for hockey. So it's not offsides for hockey because there's offsides for hockey. Do you know what offsides for hockey is?
I've covered 2 Stanley Cups, and I can't describe icing. I know it. Okay, so you have, say, the goalie on the other team.
Would this be easier? Could you describe what a balk is in baseball? Because that seems...
Yeah, well, it's when you almost throw it, but you don't. Isn't that right? I can't describe these things. It's too hard. Okay, icing is when... You're making me so nervous that now I can't do it because I'm so nervous. Okay. When the puck goes behind the offense's line. Wait, the blue line on the team.
You're not even close. I mean, you're kind of.
No, it is. It is when the blue line, when the team that is going in for attack on the other team's goal, if that goalie or whoever gets it, wait. I'm looking.
Do you want me to put you out of your misery?
No. I'm looking. What is icing in?
Well, I can tell you what icing is.
Well, I want to read it, Mark.
All right.
It says, when you flip. This is what I'm trying to say. When you flick the puck all the way down to the end of the ice and chasing after it, everybody has to go back behind the line, right? Everybody has to go back behind the blue line. Is that right? It's a blue line and nothing to do with it.
You're getting warmer, but like you're still like. I mean, if anyone's listening and it has a very rough idea of what hockey is,
this is terrible because this is going to give women in sports media a bad name because they're going to be like, Charlotte doesn't know how to describe icing.
I had this idea. I pitched this to the Blue Jackets when I was living in Columbus, and they said they were going to do it, and they never did. And I'm brokenhearted that it never happened because I think it's a genius idea. And everyone listening that is a hockey PR person for a team, take this idea. Please implement it in your city. I think this wouldn't go over well in Boston and Montreal and all that, but like it would have been perfect in Columbus. I think there needs to be a hockey 101 class for the locals to come to, and it's and you don't just teach like the rules of hockey. You teach you teach the rivalries. You teach like why is Sidney Crosby a hoser. You teach, we boo this man for this reason. This guy who's on the other team, like he's a legend to us. So if he comes to town, don't boo him. We cheer for him. I pitched this to the Blue Jackets. I was like, this is we need to do this. Have it at a local bar. Have someone teach it. I'll teach it. I don't really know anything. Just tell me what to say. I'll teach it.
You can just read your list of things you know about hockey, and people would learn something.
It's great. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a great idea. But now it's a red line.
And this is what you need. You need the hockey 101.
I know it though. This is what's driving me crazy. I know it when I see it, and I can't describe it.
It's so you got the two big blue lines, and I might be wrong, but this is how I remember. This is from playing NHL on video games and and watching a handful of hockey games throughout the years. When you pat, you have to basically have a guy touch the puck in between the blue lines, and the idea is that you can't just throw Hail Marys from like one end of the ice to the other. So you have to make a controlled pass to someone like in center ice, and then that guy can start the attack. So the idea is like. It prevents cherry picking, but offsides actually prevents cherry picking. It also prevents clearing the puck because if you're on defense and you're panicking and you just whip it down to the other end to get it out of here, that's icing. And they're like, no, bring it back. We're going to do a face-off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's icing.
Yeah.
I said, when it goes behind the...
as you articulated so well. But it doesn't have to go behind. It just has to go across the two blue lines. And
that's what I said. I'm talking about the
Did you say that? Let's review the tape. Let's review the tape.
I said the blue line. Oh my God, Mark.
That's what I said.
This is slander. This is libel. I'm going to sue you.
You're gaslighting the shit out of me. That's exactly.
Gaslighting you.
That's exactly what I said.
Oh my God. Okay, can we talk about what we're excited for hockey? Because this is going to get into other hockey rules.
All right.
Because I can't describe icing anymore.
What's offsides?
When you're offsides.
Okay.
When you're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side. That's
all right, let's
Everybody
do our list. Let's do our list. These are the 5 things we are most excited to see the rest of the 2021 NHL season. I will let you go first.
Okay, well, I have 6.
These are the 6 things that Charlotte is most excited for.
But I labeled it 5 and then 5A, so it still looks like I only have 5.
Go ahead, you go first. Either way, you go first.
The first thing is what batshit crazy thing Gritty's going to do this year, because the Philadelphia Flyers mascot looks like he was a Muppet who climbed into a vat of radioactive material and then crawled out 30 times bigger and has crazy eyes, and I love him with my whole heart. I used to write Gritty fan fiction, fun fact. And when you Google Gritty, I Googled something about Gritty. I forget what it was, but here it is. This is what comes up. People also ask, why is Gritty called Gritty? Is Gritty a girl? What is Gritty texture? Did Gritty punch a 13-year-old boy?
What? What's that last one?
Did Gritty punch a 13-year-old boy? Because one time a father of this kid in Philadelphia was like, hey, we're suing Gritty because he assaulted my son. He punched my son in the stomach. And Gritty was like, well, he didn't say anything because he's a mascot. He can't talk. But people speaking on behalf of Gritty were like, he didn't. And I think Gritty was acquitted of punching kid. But is there anything more hockey than a hockey mascot punching a 13-year-old boy in the stomach?
That goes against everything I said earlier about how hockey strikes me as a sport where the fans get along, even though
it's not a nice sport, but it's
You're telling me that the mascot is punching 13-year-old boys in the stomach.
Gritty is the most chaotic thing that ever happened to anybody.
Did the Flyers know what they were doing when they created this mascot? Do you think they thought that it was genuinely a good mascot, that now they are leaning into it once they saw the backlash or the reaction? Or because backlash probably is the right word. People seem to love it.
I've interviewed I've interviewed them about
this?
They did. They had a guy in central Pennsylvania make a bunch of different options. You know, there was like an aviator because they're the Flyers. They had all these different, cuter versions. And then he gave them Gritty, and they were like, we want something chaotic and uncontrollable. And he was like, well, here. And they were like, you nailed it. Like, they did this on purpose, and then it has gone better than anyone ever could have imagined.
It works well with the Philly Fanatic too. I think that's there's like a brand in Philadelphia.
Yeah. I've also interviewed Gritty, not to brag, but we had to do it through email.
Did you ask him? Did you ask him if he punched the boy in the stomach?
No, because that happened after. But I would ask him. We should have Gritty on the podcast.
Would you ask him the hard hitting questions?
Yeah. Come on. I'm not going to do a softball interview for Gritty. You kidding me? No. So anyway, that's the fifth thing I'm excited for. 5A is whether announcers in the playoffs have to mention the corporate sponsors for the division, because I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
But this year they gave each division, and they reorganized the teams a little bit because of COVID and travel, and you could sponsor division. So we've got this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. The Mass Mutual NHL East Division, the Scotia NHL North Division, the Honda NHL West Division, and the Discover NHL Central Division. And I want to know if the announcers are going to have to be like, well, they were first in the Mass Mutual NHL East Division if they're each time.
I don't like these sponsors. They all seem too white collar to me. This does not seem hockey. I think like Hooters should be one of the sponsors. Like that seems like more hockey
like
speak.
A cement company.
Yeah, a cement company and Hooters and
like Randolph's Plumbing. Yeah.
That is hilarious. So in the North, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like basically all the Canadian teams. And I'm not a conspiracy guy, but if I was, I would argue that maybe they're doing this just to make sure that the Canadian teams get like high seeds. Like you're basically making all the Canadian teams play each other, and then
for a country. No offense to Canada, but for a country that invented hockey, they're pretty bad at it right now. I mean, the Leafs are okay. The Leafs are doing all right, but other than that, they're not great.
All right. So my number 5 is this: can the Stars start getting some pucks on net to help bolster their blue liners? I think. The Stars, as we know, lost the Stanley Cup Finals last year, but they were in it with the Lightning, and they were.
Keep going. This is good.
So coming into this season, so they lose in the Stanley Cup Finals last year, but they're right there. They had almost had a finger on the cup, and they let it slip away. So coming into this season, a lot of us thought that the Stars could contend for the Discover Central Division. But it's just not going well. I think like their defense is showing up. The blue liners, as I said, are bringing it. They're 4th in the league in shots against per game. That's obviously what you want to see, but. And that, by the way, is factoring in the 29 shots that Florida had in the second period alone versus Dallas on Monday. They're still, even in spite of that, they're 4th in the league. Meanwhile, they're 30th in shots per game.
Okay.
They trail only they're only ahead of the Flyers. They're not getting pucks on net. But the defense is playing well, and at some point something's got to give, because I don't think the blue liners can hold it down all season. So I'm looking for the Stars to get some help, get those attackers, get those wingers, get some power play goals, get some easy ones. But yeah, they start slow. They've got 5 first period goals all season. Absolutely dreadful. We got to get some.
That's insane. 5 first period goals.
Yeah.
All season.
All season. So we got to
get pucks on net. If
you got to get pucks on net.
You're not going to win if you're not getting pucks on net, as I always say.
Absolutely. So right now, they're a point clear of the Red Wings for last place in the division, and they've lost 6 in a row. And I think this is just not the season that the Stars were expecting to have. So that's my number 5 thing to watch, is to see if the Stars can turn around.
All right, let's see if the Stars can turn around. My number 4 thing is, will Connor McDavid maintain his elite scoring pace for the Oilers? Because, since January 14th, the Oilers forward has continued to really just crush it. He had his 500th in the NHL against Winnipeg on February 17th, and 5 points in a 7-1 win against the Flames. That was Saturday. So listen, McDavid leads the NHL with 37 points. He's got 12 goals, 25 assists, averaging, get this, Mark, would you believe it, he's averaging 1.85 points per game?
What?
And listen, the last player to average that many points this season was Mario Lemieux. in
Wow.
95, 96, which is
Wow, I remember that
2.3
year.
points per game. Yeah, I bet you
Yeah,
do.
he was-
Your
he was
favorite
great
year.
that year.
Mario. So, I just want to know if McDavid's going to be able to keep this up over the season, which is 56 games. It took him 92 games from go to 0 to 100, and then, it 60. I just think that he could be something special, and I hope the Oilers continue to use him in the right way.
Are you a Connor McDavid or an Austin Matthews fan?
I'm an Austin Matthews fan.
You're picking Austin. Is that a rivalry? I assume it is, right? That feels like it's the next wave
Those
of...
are the two names that I feel like people know most in the sort of up in the
That's the
not
next
ancient
generation of
hockey players.
Crosby versus Ovechkin. That's it's Matthews McDavid, right? So
Yeah, and
you gotta
Matthews
pick one?
is Maple Leafs, so they're both in Canada. Is he still in the Leafs? He is, right?
Yeah, he's on the Leafs. Yeah, he's been playing well. He's been on quite a scoring tear himself lately. I
He
believe.
sure has, Mark. I'm glad you brought that up.
16. We read the same article. Shout out to
Emily Kaplan
Emily
at
Kaplan, ESPN, who, if you search hockey news, her power rankings that went up today, Charlotte and I both read. So
I want to say I think that all the things I just said would have counted as plagiarism because that was Emily. Shout out Emily Kaplan for all of her. She does great work. She's a friend of mine. So thanks for your information.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to plagiarize if it's a friend. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm quoting her.
Okay. No, please. This is journalism. It's called quoting.
Come on. Everybody go read Emily's articles.
All right, my number 4 thing to keep an eye on here is how much longer will the Jeff Blascher experiment last in Detroit? I think
God, I am so glad you brought that up. I've been wondering.
I've been talking to my buddies about it, and we're not even Red Wings fans, and even we're scratching our head, just saying Blashill is worn out as welcome. We thought the experiment would end 2 years ago, and it's still. He was never been. By the way, I love calling it the experiment. This is a little trick for everyone that wants to do sports punditry. if you want to be scathing. And like putting a guy on a hot seat, you just call it the experiment. Like, how long will the blank? And you say the coach's name. And experiment.
Listen, we were all waiting to see how long the Cam Newton experiment was going to work with Belichick because clearly something had to give there, and unfortunately he couldn't get it back to his old healthy. It's so easy. Come on, it's like a formula.
Because you're not just saying that he sucks. You're saying that the idea that he would even be good was a huge risk in the first. This was
let's see
insane
what
from the start.
happened when we put vinegar and baking soda together in a beaker. That's how much faith we have in this guy. So
Jeff Blashill is when he took over in 2015. So this is his 6th season. He took over for the Red Wings and an original 6 franchise in 2015. They made the playoffs his first year in 2016. They've been basement dwellers ever since. They are not good this year. They're one of the worst teams in the league this year. And he was never an NHL head coach before this job. So it does feel like it was a little bit of an experiment. It feels like it was a little bit of a roll of the dice. I Googled trying to get the pulse of Red Wing Nation.
Yeah.
So I was scouring the Detroit Free Press trying to see what they're saying about the Red Wings.
What are they saying?
This was a headline today from the Detroit Free Press. Detroit Red Wings say everyone wants to win, but quote, I don't think we're hungry enough. And that's not where you want to be. It's like we want to win, but we're not hungry. These are the stories you're putting out.
Mark, I've always said in order to win a championship, you got to be starving.
You got to be hungry. You got to want it. You got to want it first of all.
You got to be so hungry that you treat that game like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and you go in there and you load up your plate, and you. The Red Wings have the greatest logo in all of sports, I think.
They do have a great logo. I would agree with that.
I think it's my favorite logo in all of sports.
It's a classic look, the Red Wings sweater, the red and the white pops.
The Gordie Howe and Ferris
Hockey
Bueller.
Town.
Yeah.
Is that Hockey Town?
Yeah, sure.
There's 12 hockey towns, but I think Detroit's one of them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. The Red it's just so sad. As a guy who grew up in the 90s, I remember the Red Wings winning back-to-back cups. And just being, they were kind of the preeminent franchise for me, at least as a hockey fan when I was growing up. So to see that, I would describe it as this, Charlotte. They're playing uninspiring hockey right now.
Yes.
The power play is non-existent. No. It's just not what I've come to.
What, are they ranked last in penalty kills?
Yep, I probably. So that's number 4 on my list. We'll keep an eye on that.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's monitor that situation as it develops. My number 3 it's a simple question, Mark, and it's will the Golden Knights be lonely? And the reason I frame it this way is because the greatest moment of my entire career happened when I was covering the the Stanley Cup in Vegas. I get into a cab after one of the games, and it was, like 3 a.m. I've just filed a story. This guy is taking me back to his hotel, and I was trying to get a feel for, what locals thought about this new team and how they were doing. So I said, how do you feel about the Knights? And he said, they're lonely. And I said, the Golden Knights? And he goes, oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, my
Did
cab
you say,
driver.
hold on, I caught you, he was taking you, the way you phrased it, you said he was just taking you back to your hotel to drop you off. Okay,
yes.
All right.
And I go, how do you feel about the Knights? And he goes, they're lonely. And I said, the Golden Knights? And he goes, oh.
Yeah, I was worried about where your stories. I thought you said he took you back to his room and then said this.
No. He was
no.
just driving me back, but I was trying to ask him what he thought about his hockey team, and he told me that his Knights were lonely.
He went very personal.
He did. And so, but this segues into a greater question, because can VGK do it? They're first in the Honda NHL West Division right now, and they've been serious contenders since they entered the league 4 years ago. They've never missed the playoffs. They lost to Tampa. They lost to the Stars in the Western Conference Finals last year. They lost to the Caps. What is it going to take, Mark, to get this young team over the hump? And a team that has exceeded expectations, that nobody thought they'd be this good this quickly. And what does that mean for Seattle, for the Kraken, for the new expansion team we're going to see soon? Those are all things to keep an eye on.
That's a great point. I'm in two minds about this, Charlotte. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are a great story. I think it's cool to see them so competitive out of the gate, but at the same time, get in line. That's what I say. As a Blue Jackets fan, we've been waiting a long time. I've been waiting my whole life since when the Blue Jackets started, 2000 something.
You've been waiting here.
My whole life, the Blue Jackets wouldn't even win a playoff series for the longest time. I think they broke that streak a few years ago, and it's the idea of even making the Stanley Cup for the Blue Jackets is insane. So get in line, Vegas. Come on, you can't just be winning cups right out of the gate.
I don't know. They what I will say is that they have the greatest intro and hype video in all of sports. I want to run through a wall when I watch that thing.
Every hockey team seems to have a thing. You said the Blues they see Gloria. I know the Blue Jackets, they play they burst the cannon. Whenever they score a goal, they shoot a cannon.
The Wild has a thing where they throw pond water on the rink.
What?
I don't know. I went to a game and I was like, Minnesota's weird, man. I don't get it. I might have butchered that. Someone can email us. I like that this podcast is basically, we just make wild assertions, and then on Monday we're like, so sorry, we were wrong about this.
Well, you know what? Especially this podcast has started to. I mean, our podcast as a show is that, but then this specific episode is definitely that. It's the idea that if you want something answered, don't search for it. Just post the wrong answer on the internet, and a million people will tell you.
They'll tell you what you got wrong. Yeah. All right. What's your third?
So I don't think the Golden Knights, like I said, they need to wait your turn for the Stanley Cup. What I think the real trophy they want to get their hands on, this is number 3 for me. It's, can Marc-Andre Fleury continue to stand on his head, secure the net? Can I'm laughing. You won't let me finish. Can Marc-Andre Fleury continue to stand on his head and secure the netminder's first career Vezina? I think everyone's talking about it. Marc-Andre Fleury, a.k.a. the Flower, he's 36 years old, won a few cups for the Penguins, I think, at least 2, is a legend. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, has never won the Vezina Trophy. And right now he's first in goals saved above expectation, which is a stat that exists. He leads the league in save percentage, also a stat that exists. Vegas is currently...
What's he at, 0.928 right now? Is that right?
Somewhere in that range. I don't know if I have the updated stats, but when I last checked, it was somewhere around there.
Than the other, looks like.
Vegas is tied for 13th in goals scored per game, but they're first in goals against. So he's holding it down. He's doing his part. He's out there. He's throwing those pillows around and stacking pads and other things. And I think this is the year. I think this is the year the Flower gets the Vezina. So I just wanted to. Let's put that at number 3 on my
list.
list.
I'm laughing because we definitely read the same article, and I looked up what's the Vezina, and it was the best goalie in hockey, and I was like, all right, well, let's keep that in the back pocket in case we got to talk about it. I love Marc-Andre Fleury. He's a
guy. All right, moving on. He says, Charlotte's like, I love Marc-Andre Fleury. Do you hear You hear typing in the background. He is a Canadian professional ice hockey goaltender, currently playing for the Vegas Golden Knights of the National Hockey League, drafted out of the Quebec Major Junior.
Okay, all right. My number 2, the second thing I want to know is, can Boston manage not to trip over its own feet in the home stretch? Look, this is a team, they got really close last year. They lost to the Lightning in the playoffs. The Lightning go on to win the Stanley Cup. They went they won the President's Trophy in the regular season, which is the best regular season record. It's like the regular season MVP, but for a team.
Is it our presidents or Canada's presidents?
Oh, well, they have prime ministers.
Oh, that's true.
What?
So it's probably ours.
Yeah, they won it's called President Biden's trophy for best regular season in the NHL. And so they're currently first in the East. David Pastrnak, who people call Pasta, who stars in delightful Dunkin' Donuts commercials. He had a hat trick on Sunday. Tuukka Rask is playing well. Boston fans love to be jerks about him, but he's been doing great. He only allowed 3 goals on 19 shots in Sunday's 73 win over the Flyers, and scoring depth isn't really an issue. I think the defenders, they're young, they're stepping up, playing a lot better than we thought they would. So, they're the only team in the league with the top 6 power play and a penalty kill.
Wow.
And if that doesn't tell you something about this team's potential, Mark, I don't know what does.
It's all there for the taking. It's all there. It's just a matter of whether they want it.
Yeah.
Like I think some of the things you find in hockey, this certainly happens a lot, is the pieces are there, but some teams are almost they're scared of being too good, and they're not ready for the moment. And what are we talking about?
And we got to see if they can rise to the occasion. Is what we're going to see with the Bruins.
Number 2 on my list is a phrase that I just like. I just like this phrase. So I put it as my question: who will hoist Lord Stanley's Cup? It's not about who's going to win the Stanley Cup.
I look forward to seeing who will
hoist. It's not you can't call it the Stanley Cup. It's Lord Stanley's Cup, and it's not who's going to win it. It's who's going to hoist it. So that's what I'm interested to see. I don't even care what happens on the ice, like in terms of who wins. I care about when the game is over, who will hoist Lord Stanley's Cup?
Who's going to hoist it? Who shall hoist Lord
it?
Stanley's Cup on ye old ice rink?
Canada has not won, as we said, since 1993. The entire country has not won a Stanley Cup. This is a sticking point for Canadian
that the
hockey
Leafs,
fans.
the last time the Leafs won was 1967.
Wow, and they're in a good position right now, right?
Longest drought in the league.
The longest drought in the league?
It's either 1967 or it's 1963, but you know what?
I think it's 67. I think because I was looking.
That was the expansion. That was when they
The Maple Leafs are good this year, though, so this might be the year.
Could
I think the Oilers are good. The Jets are good. This could be the Leafs year.
Probably won't be, but it could be.
Making me think. Toronto is looking to go back to back, or not Toronto. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay. We just got done talking about Tampa Bay is looking to go back to back.
I'm so sick of talking about Tampa Bay as a sports town. I did not expect in 2020, after the most surprising thing, save the pandemic, was how much I've had to think about Tampa for my job. What are we doing? I never thought. I know now that Tampa and St. Pete share an airport. I didn't want to know that. Why do I have to know that? I know it. Come on.
What else did I have written down about the Stanley Cup notes? The Winnipeg Jets and the Florida Panthers have never won it, and they have decent teams this year. They could win it. Vegas is in the mix. You brought that up earlier. I don't know. Who will hoist Lord Stanley Cup? Find out
an age-old question
this spring on NBC Sports Network 2, where we're going to put all of our games opposite the NBA Finals, and there will always, we promise you this here at NBC Sports, there will always be a bigger sporting event going on during the biggest hockey games of the year. That is our promise to you.
Hockey, we gotta help them. We'll help them. We'll figure out how to make sure
we will wait
playing
till the Final Four starts, and that is when we will start our playoffs. We will then compete directly with the NBA and wonder why we're regional. Yeah, and we will have our Stanley Cup Game 7 on July 4th. Oh
my God, Mark.
And then we will instruct all their fans to argue with people on Twitter about ratings, and there you go.
And it's gonna be perfect. All right, are you ready for my number one question that I want answered this season?
Not only am I ready, Charlotte, I have been I couldn't sleep last night. I was waiting to hear what this was gonna be.
I'm about to put you out of your misery, Mark, because my number one question for this season, for the rest of this NHL season, is: will the players stay hydrated? And look, all I've got to say is...
Such a mom. You're such
listen,
a mom.
No, listen.
Are they going to try their best?
And are they gonna give it their all?
Oh.
Hockey press conferences are the greatest thing in the entire world, because I've never heard people say nothing with words better. That, like, it's just hockey word salad is what they say. And last year, during the playoffs, I think it was the playoffs, or it was when they were in the bubble, I was watching a Blues press conference. A Blue Jackets press conference. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but I was watching this press conference. And Seth Jones, do you remember there was that insane 5 OT game where the players were just, like, exhausted and so bedraggled? They put Seth Jones... Bedraggled?
Let me look that up real quick. Hold that thought. Bedraggled?
Are you serious?
That's a real word?
You've never heard that word? Did I read too many, like, Anne of Green Gables books when I was little?
Oh my God,
bedraggled. It's like a cat. It's like
coming
a wet
back.
cat.
I will. I'll tap my chest on this one. It says, according to the Google has, like, how popular it is. It's making a comeback.
Really?
Around 2018, it was making a comeback. Yeah,
That's
it must
weird.
have been bedraggled. Never heard
That's
that
really
word in my
weird.
life.
Anyway,
Continue. All right.
They put Seth Jones and Pierre-Luc Dubois up there after the Blue Jackets lose this 5 OT game, and they could not be less phased. They were not upset. They just lost maybe one of the longest games ever. And Seth Jones just goes, he says, "I feel fine." And then he said, "I stayed hydrated." And then they go to Pierre-Luc Dubois and they're like, "Okay, well, what about you? Like, how are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just trying to stay hydrated." And what I took away from that is that staying hydrated to hockey players is a really big deal, because it's what they're talking about after a huge loss. And I just hope that everybody drinks enough water.
That's what they care about more than wins and losses, is are we staying hydrated?
Just
I
trying
remember
to
that
stay
game.
hydrated.
Seth Jones set the record for most minutes played in the game that night, I think.
Did he?
NHL record. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was on the ice for forever.
Well,
Yeah,
this was
so.
deep pandemic, so I was watching Columbus Blue Jackets press conferences, if that tells you anything.
You should be doing that anyway, Charlotte.
I know, it's
Best
my
franchise
job.
in the NHL. My number one question that I'm looking to have answered for the rest of the season is a simple one. Is Sidney Crosby still a hoser?
We
think
got to look this up, because if it turns out that this is a terrible word, we're going to have to change.
It can't be a terrible word.
Well, I'm looking it up, because I'm
It does sound like a bad word. It's not a
does.
bad word. Well, I heard a lot of people saying it, and if it's such a bad word, why would sports fans yell it at an opposing player?
Dude, I can't even find. Maybe it's such a bad word that it's not even on Google. Hold on, we got to figure this out. Oh no, we're good. Oh, thank God. Oh my God, I had a heart attack there. But it's a foolish or uncultivated person.
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
AKA,
And
does it say
it's a
AKA Sidney
Canadian.
Crosby? Is Sidney Crosby's face next to it?
No, but it's what Canadians call Americans, apparently.
Oh, really?
I think they. Yeah. Well, it's a slang to. It says it's a derogatory term originating from Canada for people imitating. It's similar. It's like an idiot or a loser. Okay, I think we're fine here. I feel okay about this one.
That's my number one question. Sidney Crosby. He was hurt last year. He's back. I don't know. Who cares? Boring. Sidney Crosby sucks. He's a hoser. I don't know. Sidney Crosby might be good. He might not. I don't know. I don't like him.
It says
That's all I
here
know.
in the Wikipedia, it says a popular origin story holds in outdoor ice hockey before ice resurfacers. The losing team in a hockey game would have to hose down the rink after a game to make the ice smooth again. Thus, the term hoser was synonymous with loser.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So
pretty good.
I decided when I was going to be a CBJ fan, I decided hockey was going to be the one sport that I was going to just turn my. This is going to be shocking to those of you who follow my college basketball analysis, but I actually do try to use my brain with that. Hockey was going to be the one sport that I just went full-fledged, just goon idiot fan that I know nothing and I'm just yelling and I'm passionate and I'm like, fire the coach. When we lose, fire him. When our guy scores 2 goals, like he should win MVP and what, So I went heavy on that, and part of that identity is that Sidney Crosby's a hoser. I don't know how good or bad he is, but I'm gonna boo him every time I see him. And Sidney, come on the podcast, and I will just boo you the entire time.
Sidney, come on the podcast and make your case.
I do hate Penguins fans. I hate them so much. Like, there's so many Penguins because the Penguins were the team of choice around Columbus, Ohio, before the Blue Jackets came along. So you have the legacy people in Columbus that are fans of the Penguins who didn't. When we got the expansion team, a lot of people started cheering for the Blue Jackets, but the people that dug their heels in were like, no, my grandfather was a Penguins fan, so I'm going to be a Penguins fan,
and his father before him,
and listen, because the Penguins win Stanley Cups and the Blue Jackets don't even win playoff series, like they think that matters. And so, for some reason,
winning in hockey is not the be all end all.
If you're comparing wins and losses, you've already lost me because I'm ready to throw the gloves. Let's make it happen right now.
Mark's a new enforcer.
You know what I mean?
Dude, you'd be so tall on skates. You'd be like 1,000,000 feet tall. You'd be like Zdeno Chara. You'd be like the tallest white guy on the ice.
So I hate just in general, I hate any fans that have stats prepared. If you're ready to argue and you're throwing out stats, get it out of my face. You gotta argue.
It needs to come from the heart.
From the gut.
There it is. Yeah.
It's like, you know how I know we're better? Because you're a bunch of hosers. That's why. I don't need your Stanley Cups and you beat us how many times head to head. You're hosers.
That's all it is. That's what it comes down to.
You want to fight? Meet me out there.
Meet me by the popcorn. We'll do this right here, right now. All right. Well, what's your number one thing?
That was my number one. Is Sidney Crosby still a hoser?
I got so caught up in that I forgot that's what we were talking about.
This was an absolute disaster.
I could not be more proud of us. First of all, I think we know a lot about hockey. We definitely know what icing is. I can describe it. We know what penalty kills and power plays are. We can name at least 10 hockey players.
What's cross-checking? What's cross-checking?
It's when you hit someone across their body with your stick.
That's good. What is maybe we should end on what is offsides? I want you to explain this.
It's when offense is farther ahead.
You know what? We're gonna do this. This is my homework for you. You're going to read when our bonus episode on Monday. You do your homework. You come back. You have to articulate what icing is, and we give you 10 seconds to do it. You have to do it quickly.
Can I tell you something about me?
What?
Listen, I am famously terrible at following rules and directions. I can't read instruction manuals. I don't know how to put things together. So when asked to describe a rule, it's literally my worst nightmare. But offsides is when you have someone on the offense who is ahead of the last defender and someone can just give them the puck. It's so that you can't just hang out by the goal.
You say when it's a guy crosses the blue line before the puck does? Is that
no, that's icing. I'm kidding.
No, it's not.
I know that's a joke. That's a joke. No, it's when the guy. Is that what it is? When they cross the blue line?
Oh my god. I have some parting questions. I legitimately want you to do that. I'm going to quiz you. We start on show on Monday.
Oh,
we're going to ask you what icing.
Okay.
You have 10 seconds to explain what icing is. You have 10 seconds to explain what offsides is.
Okay.
And we're all going to be tuned in. This is the spotlight's on.
Okay.
This is your
I'm very nervous.
Play Lose Yourself by Eminem before you come on the show. Get yourself psyched up.
I'll play it. I try to play it for you, but it would only come through my headphones.
And then I had some questions for the people because I couldn't get any answers on this. So number one, emergency goalies. Like, is this a real thing that happens?
Oh, I know this one.
Those are real?
That's real. And they're going to make a Disney movie or TV show out of one of them, out of that guy whose last name was Ayers, he was a Zamboni driver for the Leafs, I think. And then he had to play against the Leafs and he beat his own team. It's literally, if you don't have a goalie, if you run through all of your goalies, you can find a random guy from the stands. Is this still happening? Yes. This happened last year.
Last year?
Yeah, no, seriously, Mark, go to a hockey game, and if all the goalies are out, they will find literally whoever. They found the Zamboni driver. This sport is so amazing. I
Add
can't
that
even.
to my bucket list. Is I want to serve as an emergency goalie. We
gotta find a way to make that happen.
You and I should do like a video series where we're bouncing around like the smallest profession, like semi-pro hockey leagues.
Just trying to be
And
goalies.
we're just trying to be
"Put me
emergency
in,
goalies.
coach."
Yeah, and we're just like I'm just sitting there with all the pads on in the stands.
Me too. But like 4
yeah,
seats
we're
away
both-
from you because they can't fit.
Then,
We're just like,
we have
we're ready.
And then it's the night at the Roxbury when they call us. It's like me, you, me, him, you, me.
And then we get into a fist fight over who gets to go first to be the emergency goalie.
And then the sun gets too bright and the game gets canceled anyway. And scene.
Wow, that
I
sounds
didn't know
like
that was still a thing. That's amazing. I want to do that. That's like a citizen's arrest of hockey. You know, like it's like that's the only equivalent I can think of is like in real life when you make a citizen's arrest. The other, I already brought this up. Is fighting allowed? Because like I couldn't really.
Yeah,
I, need
I
an
still
answer on
don't
this.
really know that answer.
Like it's allowed, but it's not. It doesn't make any sense. It's conflicting information.
Yeah.
I had this question. Are you legally obligated to throw your hat onto the ice if a hat trick happens?
Yeah.
If I'm wearing a hat as a fan, can I get arrested if
It's
I
in
don't
the
throw my
rule
hat on
book.
there?
You'll get
Yeah.
arrested by the Zamboni driver, who's also
then-
the goalie.
My friend told me this one time, and I don't know if this is true. This didn't sound right to me, but you probably know more than I do. I was told that you can't get charged with a DUI if you are driving home drunk from a hockey game.
Oh my god.
That's what my friend told me. Is that? That's what he told me.
That's so awful. That's so.
Is that
No.
only in North Dakota? Or
That's
is that
only in
nationwide.
That's in like some parts of Canada.
If you just tell the officer, no, you don't understand, sir. Crosby
But
was
if
in town and he
Here's
was a
what it is.
hoster.
If a Canadian policeman on a horse pulls you over and you're drunk from a hockey game, he can't arrest you.
If you hit a moose on your way home,
It's not your fault.
I need those answers. So write us, People's Sports Pod. What's the
Monday's
email?
going to be what? Oh, come on. The People's Sports Podcast at gmail.com. Follow us at People's Sports. What could be a more egalitarian handle than that? Like, we are for all of you. Also on Instagram. Hold on. I need to look at what the Instagram one is. I forgot. Hold on.
At the People's Sports Podcast, right? At People's Sports Podcast?
People's Sports Podcast. No, the.
Yeah. At People's Sports Podcast. This was a train wreck. This was an absolute disaster.
This was, I loved every minute of it, but it was an absolute garbage fire.
I am going to treasure the clip of you trying to explain what icing is for the rest of my life. That is the funniest thing.
Oh, it's so, I don't know how to do, I still don't know. Maybe I just don't know what it is, but I thought I knew what it was. Like, I can see it. Like, if we were watching a hockey game and you said what just happened, I'd be like, it was icing.
I just hope everyone writes in emails and they're like, so are you guys going to do the hockey episode for real? Like, that was a joke, right? Like, was that a bit that you just did?
Yeah, we just did an hour
Like,
and
what
a half
the
long
hell is
bit.
that?
I'm serious. It was fun, though. I hope the people like it. Do you think the people are going to like it?
Absolutely not, but that's part of the charm of the show. So thank you for listening. Write into Charlotte and tell us what we got wrong. And
If you have any good
what
YouTube
else you wanna
videos, just
share?
send us, send them our way. Okay, alrighty, bye.